Hello everyone, you're welcome to Iron Port, the program that has been designed to bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. It is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Iron Port is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, this week our discussion is in two parts. We begin with the International Maritime Hospital, the world-class hospital that you can see behind me. Ima is saying that in this month of October, it is dedicating itself to breast cancer awareness. The hospital is offering free breast screening for everyone who visits. Not only that, there's a 40% discount for further examinations such as mammogram and breast ultrasound. Now let's hear more on Pink October from our people from IMA.
So just find out from you what the International Maritime Hospital is doing, to fight breast cancer. I know this year, every year you have a program targeted at, reducing and preventing and creating awareness and all that. What are you doing this year?
Yes. So this year, every year we do it, we create awareness, especially in October, but we have an oncology setting which sees all sorts of cancers, especially breast cancer. We have a clinic that we do the chemo aspect, the chemo bit in case you have the cancer. Right. We do our hormonal, we do our targeted therapy, we do our immunotherapy as well. And then we are not doing it alone. There are some facilities and agencies that also come and then partner International Maritime Hospital. Last year we went with some TV stations. Right. We went as far as Malata Market. Okay. We went to AMA, Accra. Yes. We did Tema Committee 1, where we saw all sorts of women coming in and getting screened. And I'm so happy. At least now our women are understanding there's something called breast cancer, and they are coming in.
Stakeholders in the maritime industry or people that are in the maritime industry can benefit from what you're doing in the month of October as far as your awareness creation is concerned, and whether there's something special for them beyond,
Okay, so before I tackle on that, I want to thank GPHA, our mothers and then our parents. And then what they are doing or what we are doing for them is, like Doctor said, we are taking the hospital out of IMA to them. So we offer screening in their premises, also to create awareness and also to pick up abnormalities. Yes. And then with the other bodies, we also have other bodies like NPA. We did with NPA. We did with graphic communication. We have others we are also doing. Yeah. For GPHA, I will say that if they have access and if they have the time, they can equally also walk in. We have the free screening for them as well. We are not taking anything. Right. All that we want them to do is to walk in, and then we will give them the excellent services from our experts.
All right, Doc. So I mentioned in my intro that I read somewhere within the week that men were also prone to breast cancer. How true is this, and what's the percentage, of men that are at risk of breast cancer?
It's very true. A man can also be predisposed to breast cancer. The percentage is 1%. Okay. Yeah, so if you take 100 men, only one person or one man is going to be predisposed to breast cancer. Yeah, and then the reason is the same reason, being the estrogen exposure. So if you have a liver disease, if you have liver cirrhosis, it means it's not going to metabolize your estrogen. So estrogen stays in your blood, which will then lead to breast cancer, because the abnormal breast cells, they feed on estrogen that's present. Right. So the estrogen will cause the abnormal breast cells to form a tumor, invade other structures, and then cause the cancer.
Have we, recorded any male breast cancer, situation at IMA?
Okay, so yes. Currently, we have one male patient who we screened, and then we found a lump. We were all surprised too. but it's very common.
Okay.
Just that our men are not working in. At IMA, we have a current patient, a male patient with breast cancer.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. All right. Awesome. So finally, I just wanted to find out from you why somebody listening to us or watching would choose IMA as a hospital of choice as far as breast cancer and other, special diseases are concerned.
It's one of the leading tertiary hospitals in the country at the moment. And it also offers comprehensive care when it comes to breast cancer treatment. It's a 130-bed hospital with state-of-the-art facilities and a team of highly skilled and experienced healthcare professionals.
Right.
And then at the same time, too, we have an oncology unit. And then we also attend to not just breast cancer, but other cancers, colorectal, lung cancers. We attend to all those individuals. And then we have the facility. We have MRI, we have CT scans, we have mammograms, and then we also have ultrasound. And these are like new machines with new technologies. And then our healthcare professionals too are very experienced. And then the nurses too are compassionate. They take their time when attending to patients.
Right.
So we have that track record.
Are there any activities lined up or, you'd want to create awareness about?
So for this October, our screening days are Mondays, Wednesdays, and then Saturdays.
Right.
But if you are busy on any other day and you want to walk in, you are also welcome, because we really want to screen and get to know if you have cancer or not. So any other day you can come in. And please remember, of our 40% discount, it's not happening anywhere than IMA, our 40% discount on mammogram and then breast ultrasounds.
Awesome.
Away from that, viewers, this year marks 10 years since the Yaoundé Architecture was introduced. This program was formed to help West and Central African states to tackle maritime insecurities. This week in studio, we had with us a senior researcher from the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center to review the Yaoundé Architecture and give recommendations. Take a listen.
Prior to the Yaoundé Architecture, what was the state of affairs in terms of maritime criminality and illegality? And, what's the situation as of now?
Okay, so before 2013, maritime piracy and criminality in general was on the ascendancy. And sometimes we in the Gulf of Guinea, we just, it looks like we just sat there and we were watching the Somali pirates, the Gulf of Aden. We were watching them and wondering what was happening there. And before we could say Jack, it was upon us. And so the International Maritime Bureau, for instance, indicates that between 2007 and 12, there were 197 attacks alone in the Gulf of Guinea. And so the situation was very dire. And of course, we talk about the illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. It was also a huge issue, and it still is, because in West Africa alone, about 40% of the fish that are caught illegally. And it's estimated that about 1.5 billion of is lost annually due to the loss of the fish in the Gulf of Guinea. And so the situation was really very dire in the Gulf of Guinea. And what was missing was the response mechanisms to be able to combat them. And that is what the Yaoundé Architecture then provided in the Gulf of Guinea. The idea is that each of these zones, every country is supposed to have a maritime operations center, which is the focal place where the issues of maritime security and crimes are discussed.
Right.
So, for instance, if you take Ghana, for example, we are supposed to have a national maritime operations center, which is populated by all the maritime agencies, not only the Navy, the fisheries, the Ghana Ports and Harbors, the Marine Police, the immigration, the customs, every actor that has a role at sea. Yeah. But in most cases, we don't see this happening, because most of the time they use the Navy Maritime Operations Center as the national MOC. I think it's only in Sierra Leone that there's a semblance of that there. And so at the national level, the information that they get is supposed to feed into the multinational coordination centers. As you can see, those are the 5 zones that are just there now. Yeah. And so the national country gets the information. If it is beyond their level of operation, they escalate it to the multinational zones. For instance, because it may require hot pursuit, it may require them taking it up together. And so if it gets to the multinational zones and they are also not able to respond to it, then they also escalate to the regional centers. And so for those in West Africa, they would escalate it to the Cresmao, as you rightly mentioned, and for those in Central Africa, they would send the information to the Cresmac, and then, of course, it will then go to the Inter-Regional Coordination Center, which is at the top, at the strategic level, before it goes to the ECAS, the ECOWAS, and the GGC. The Yaoundé architecture is not fully operational yet, because Zone J and Zone A are not fully operational, even though Zone J, which is based in Cape Verde, ECOWAS has signed a headquarters agreement with them, and they are waiting for some assets to be able to be fully functional, but it's not fully functional. Zone A is also not fully functional. So it's there's still time and there's still hope that once it is fully operational.
10 years down the line, are there any reasons why they are not functional?
Well, I think it boils down to some logistical challenges, the age-old issue of funding, of financing, of who pays what, and then the countries also getting their act together and putting together the necessary structures. For instance, before you get to the zone, the country that is sending you must be willing to pay for your upkeep. Because if I send you to Nigeria, for instance, I should pay your full board and lodge. But some countries are unable to do that. And so if you look at the multinational center in Ghana, Zone F, for instance, we have just about 3, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, and Ghana, who are manning it. But it's supposed to be reflect all the countries that are there in that zone. And so that is the issue, but it's a work in progress, because if you look at the level of the regional zones, the Cresmao and the Cresmac, there's hope. In 2019, the staff there were quite skeletal, but now you can see that it's really now picked up and it's fully operational. I mean, the people are well represented there, and so I think there's hope for the architecture. It's only that at the level of the ICC also, there's a lot of work that has to be done there, because the proposed staffing of 26 personnel is not what we are seeing there today. And so it's a work in progress, and I think we haven't done badly, and we still have some ways to go.
Let's come home to Ghana. What's our performance like?
Oh, Ghana, we are not doing too badly. I'm sure you heard that on the 29th of August, we recently launched our integrated maritime strategy. And so that's a step up for us, and we are also currently drafting our anti-piracy bill, and so I think we are doing very well, and we did very well too by hosting the multinational center, at a time when there was not much action on it. Ghana, particularly the Navy and GMA, stood strongly by that center and ensured that it was manned and staffed and was able to do its work, churning out reports on the maritime security scene, on a daily, annually, whatever basis. So Ghana is not doing badly at all. Yes.
Now, 10 years down the line, what are there any pointers in terms of successful interventions that have emerged after the implementation of the Yaoundé architecture?
Oh, yes. Can point to? Yes. There are some pointers. The first indicator is that if you look at the state of maritime piracy and armed robbery for the last 10 years, for instance, in 2020 or between the years 2010 and 2020, the International Maritime Bureau, for instance, recorded that there were about 600 attacks alone in the Gulf of Guinea. And that led to 648 kidnapped for ransom cases. So that's about how many people were kidnapped from the ships that the pirates abducted. And the UNODC also estimates that about $4 million alone was used in paying for ransoms. But if you look at the picture today, since 2021, the issue of maritime piracy, the incident of maritime piracy has gone down drastically. And that's left many people wondering what the cause is. And so if you look at the International Maritime Bureau statistics, for instance, for this year up to June, only 12 incidents were recorded, from a high of about 80 just a couple of years back. And so it shows that at least something is being done, and little by little we are getting there. Secondly, there were 2 instances of the Yaoundé architecture being used. The information was passed through the architecture, and they were able to board 2 ships. The first one is the MT Maximus in 2016. Even though they got international support, the information was coordinated within the Yaoundé architecture framework, and it led to Nigeria eventually boarding the hijacked ship and releasing the pirates, releasing those that had been kidnapped. And then also in 2020, the Hailefeng 12, Hailefeng 2, a fishing vessel that was also attacked by pirates off the coast of Cote d'Ivoire. Okay. That one was at the height of COVID, and it shows that even though the international navies had all left the scene because of the COVID, the Yaound Architecture partners were able to rally, and the information was spread throughout the architecture, and they were able to also apprehend the pirates, and who are now being arraigned and have now been fined in Nigeria because they have the anti-piracy laws. Talking about the anti-piracy laws, there's about I think 5 countries, Nigeria inclusive, Togo, I think Cape Verde, and some others who now have anti-piracy laws, and that is a very good step, because if you catch a pirate and you're not able to prosecute them, it's a huge issue, because even though most countries have signed on to the UNCLOS, which is the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, some of them have not yet domesticated it, and if you don't have a law that speaks to a crime, you are not able to, prosecute them. And then also information sharing has improved because of the pooling of resources, the interoperability of the things that they use. So the information sharing has improved, and people are now more likely to share information with each other. And so I think these are some of the things that has happened 10 years after the architecture, which is a sign in the right direction. Right.
Okay, so I just wanted to briefly tell us some of the challenges associated with the implementation of the Yaound Architecture, apart from the fact that some countries are unwilling, or their inability, so to speak, to fund some of these small things we mentioned earlier on. Yeah.
All right, so you agree with me that the sea is a vast expanse of unmanned space, so to speak, in quotes, unlike the land that we are here inhabiting. If you go to any part of Ghana, there are police checkpoints at any point in time, but you cannot put checkpoints on the sea, so to speak. And so it's very difficult to, man or to check crime on the sea. And so it's important that we use technology and the use of naval assets to be able to do that. And that has been one of the major challenges, the ability to man the over 6,000 square kilometers of sea. Yeah, that's one of the major challenges. In the same way, maritime domain awareness, it's important that citizens like myself and you have a good sense of our maritime environment. Most of the time, we do not appreciate the connections between the land and the sea. And some of the things that we do are inimical to the sustainability of the seas. For instance, if you take marine pollution, for instance, I think there was a documentary that was done the last time that indicates that a lot of the fish in the sea are eating plastics. And we look at the issue of galamsey in Ghana. So we are gradually destroying the environment, and it's going to end up in the sea. And then also, we look at the issue of the judicial reforms. Countries are supposed to establish their maritime security strategies, but not all countries have been able to do that, because that's the first step for you to be able to get some guidelines on how you are going to operate in the country.
Let us now hear from you on some of your comments you shared with us, and then we go on break. After, we'll be back with more news. Stay tuned. Hi, I am Port. My name is Sharon, watching from Axine. In the last year, I haven't heard a lot of piracy issues, which I think is heartwarming. Is this owed to this Yaoundé architecture you are speaking of?
Yes. I think this quelling of the piracy activity in the Gulf of Guinea waters is a collaborative effort at the national, at the regional, and then at the international level. But we must give credit where it's due. I think Nigeria has taken a bold step in this instance.
Does the architecture make some sort of provision for the acquisition of our own naval vessels to police our waters, so we don't rely on the help we have been getting from the Europeans in recent years? My name is Tete from Tema Newtown.
The acquisition of the naval vessels, if you'd agree with me, it is a national security issue. So it is the state itself that must procure these vessels, but the international partners do give them some of the vessels they need. And then, the ships really cost a lot of money. And if you want to have a presence at sea for over 2 months, that's when you are able to deter the pirates. You can't just go for 3 days and come back, because they'll be watching you. As soon as you are gone, they come and do the attack. And so it's an effort that the national government must make to be able to acquire them, because they are national assets and they are for the protection of the sovereign integrity of the state.
Right.
Ohima, what are taking number first? By you. You have to say take the number give me.
Guys, no, I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I come.
Shut up!
Mame, finish tank na mwati. Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Fill up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mami.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance Motor Policy. Currently, my goods are on the IC covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Do you know that breast cancer is the #1 cause of cancer-related deaths in women in Ghana? Early detection improves life. Certain breast cancers can only be detected through screening. Do you know that being a woman increases your risk of developing breast cancer? Your risk of developing breast cancer also increases with advancing age. It is therefore very important to get screened for breast cancer.
The International Maritime Hospital is committed to early cancer detection and management. In this month of October, the International Maritime Hospital is offering free breast screening on Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Get a free clinical breast exam by skilled nurses and doctors. Don't miss out on the other amazing offers.
We are offering a 40% discount on mammograms and breast ultrasound during Pink October. Learn more about breast cancer as we assess your risk factors. Learn how to conduct a monthly breast self-examination yourself. Join us at International Maritime Hospital as we raise awareness on breast cancer. Save a life, save your life. Get screened for breast cancer today. International Maritime Hospital, we serve, we care.
Welcome back from the break, viewers. It's now time for our local news segment. A memorandum of understanding has been signed between the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and the Port of Amsterdam International for the two parties to deepen and broaden their cooperation and trade ties. The parties wish to share expertise and experience in several fields to strengthen their partnership as well as promote trade between the Port of Amsterdam and the Port of Tema and Takoradi, with a focus on the cocoa trade and other commodities and cargoes. Some key elements of this partnership include sustainable port initiatives such as the energy transition, trade development initiatives such as the exploration of market opportunities and other port development issues. The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Lugoje, expressed excitement at the prospects of this partnership.
Ghana has been a leading producer of cocoa, and of course the destination ports and how exports are done, mainly between cocoa board and what do you call it, the various marketing organizations. We only provide the port facilities over the years, but we haven't really had any special arrangements with any destination port to develop special programs that can help us promote the trade and grow it or probably make it more efficient. So we think that as we are advancing in our relationship, it is the first time we're going to have this kind of port-to-port kind of structured arrangement to see how we can promote business, not just in cocoa sector, but in other cargo segments.
On the other side, the managing director of the Port of Amsterdam International told Iron Port his outfit is looking forward to exchange knowledge and business opportunities.
Well, the Port of Tema is for a long time already a partner. There is carriers, for instance, Grimaldi line, who are already calling for a long time in Tema and in Takoradi port and in the Port of Amsterdam. And well, they are increasing their presence in both ports, and well, this will mean that this is a good moment to intensify the relation also from port to port and to create a more efficient port.
Let us now move on to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime news. Car manufacturers and dealers globally are confronted by a shortage of capacity from the vehicle transport ships and mounting backlogs at rural port facilities. DP World Yaremka in Turkey, working with China's state-owned auto manufacturer Chery Automotive, reports it has come up with a new racking solution that makes shipping cars and containers a more financially viable alternative to help alleviate the delays in transportation. DP World reports it has designed a new rack that increases the efficiency of loading cars into containers to address the significant delays and congestion in Turkey's vehicle imports. Using this alternative solution to help make more cars flow into the country more quickly, DP World reports it began importing 10,000 vehicles by putting new SUVs from Chinese automaker Chery Automotive into containers. The Port of Rotterdam has announced a port fee reduction for ships that bunker sustainable fuels in Rotterdam, supporting the Zero Emissions Maritime Buyers Alliance, ZEMBA. The Port of Rotterdam highlighted ZEMBA's recent launch of a request for proposals for the transport of 600,000 20-foot containers on ocean-going container vessels powered by zero-emission fuels, noting that as a support, the port now offers a port fee reduction for those large container vessels when bunkering sustainable fuels in Rotterdam, which can run up to €500,000 in total. The port said to qualify, a ship has to bunker alternative fuels in Rotterdam with at least a 90% reduction in greenhouse gases, such as green methanol or ammonia, adding that the discount does not apply to bio-blended fuel oil, marine gas oil, or marine diesel oil, as that market is already mature in Rotterdam. It's now time for our Word of the Day segment, where we introduce words, phrases, jargons, and terminologies that we often use in this industry so you can get familiar with them. Today we'll tell you what a conro vessel is. A conro vessel is a type of ro-ro vessel which carry containers not only on trailers but also on cellular guides on the weather deck, with these containers being loaded by gear over the rails and not by trucks using the vessel ramps. Let us now take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the port, those at anchorage, those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. Alright viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of Iron Port. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Port content can be found on our YouTube channel as well as all our social media handles at Iron Port. Please subscribe, like, give us feedback. Thank you for watching.